Well, in case any of you were on the fence as to what the Food and Drug Administration is doing to us, if you don't understand how it works, this guy does a really good job of explaining it. And hold on, I want to make sure you all hear him, so I'm turning up the volume. And just this is exactly how this situation works. Okay, hold on.
Involved in the drug companies and the insurance companies and the food industry all work together, and many of them own stock in each other's companies, and many of them are on the boards of each other's companies. It's a criminal enterprise, and here's how it works. There are many facets, but I'm going to give you one. They'll have this meeting, and I know because I was in the meetings 30 years ago. And the food industry says we are putting some ingredients in the food, some additives. And our chemists and scientists know that this one additive in a minute amount doesn't cause any problem. And this other additive in a minute amount really doesn't have any long-term negative effects. And this third additive in a minute amount really doesn't have any negative effects on a person if it's in food and they consume it. But our chemists have discovered that when you add all three at the same time, a new compound is formed. And now the person's going to have twitching in their legs. It's going to cause this shaking in their legs. And it sometimes can take 3 to 5 to 7 years before it starts developing, because it affects the nerves and so forth. So this is how the conversation goes. So the food companies will say, so what we're going to do is we're going to start putting it in the food, knowing that 7 or 8 or 9 years from now, there's going to be hundreds of thousands or millions of people with this leg shimmering, shaking issue that are going to want a treatment. We should call it something. I know, we'll call it restless leg syndrome. So when restless leg syndrome comes out 7 or 8 years from now, you guys, the drug companies, should have a drug approved and ready to go. And you'll make $1 zillion. Okay, so and then the drug companies say, yeah, we're going to do this. So they start working on the drug knowing that there's going to be this epidemic down the road. That's why magically when there's this epidemic of psoriasis that's everywhere, or diabetes, or hypertension, or restless leg syndrome, or irritable bowel syndrome, or all these new diseases that didn't exist 50 years ago, but everyone's got it. There's words I can't even pronounce. Where if you're taking a drug and you're having, twitching, take this other drug. When I was a kid, nobody walked around and did this. But now it's like all over television in America, and it's like a common occurrence. Are you kidding me? And it's caused by a drug or what's in the food, and you know what their solution is? Take another drug. Then the insurance companies get involved and say, how can we make money on this? So they have to get the government, which is your taxpayer money, and they work out a deal through the lobbyists to make sure that this drug is paid for by insurance and effectively paid for by the government. Perfect. Because remember, the government pays for Medicare and Medicaid in America, and other countries it's very similar. So they work together on this, and this happens all the time. This is how they make their money.
So yeah, and that is the long and short of it on how we all get so fucking sick at the same time with the same diseases, and then we don't want to be alone. So we're glad to know that we're not the only ones with this condition. Yeah, because everybody else has the fucking same condition. Yeah, because everybody else is eating the same food, drinking the same water, using the same toothpaste, the same lotion, the same hair gel. We're all, and they make sure that the trends allow for that. So everything is a trend. Everything's trendy. Everything's trending. Or if you're not trending, if you're not trendy, then you're not in the in crowd. It's like these goofy ass bitches last night. Poor girls. They don't even realize they don't have a single original thought amongst all of them. I'm working last night. It's a party going on. We had to shut down the facility in order to cater to this party. And it's the sorority girls and their dates. And they come in, all of them are dressed scantily clad, basically in dental floss. They're wearing slips, not dresses, slips. And if some people don't understand what a slip is, it is a garment that was used that women would put on under their dresses to prevent bunching, and also if your dress was see-through, you would have a slip on so that, you couldn't really see through the dress. But it would also help with wrinkling and all. But nevertheless, it was a garment that you put on under your dress, very satiny, very, silky sometimes. Kind of all depends on the type of material that was used. When you take the dress off, it turns into lingerie because that's what it looked like. And now these girls are wearing that outside without the dress. And then boots. Everybody was pussing boots last night. Mexicans had on boots. Everybody had on knee-high boots. All the girls had on knee-high boots, and all the guys had on like suits. They without the ties, because that's, it was very Miami Vice. It was the craziest thing in the world. And the one girl that I work with, she's young. She was like, well, what the hell is going on? Why has everybody got on boots? I said, Mexicans got on boots. It's Puss in Boots. She started laughing because she knew what I was talking about. But I had to explain to her, like I'm explaining to y'all, what it is. They're trying to make fetch a word. This is the trend now. It's all because some famous, designer or model, or maybe a famous person was wearing that at the Grammys or something. Who the fuck knows? It could be any old thing. Anything that they're watching on TikTok and Instagram and whatever the fuck else they're watching. This is now the trend. So just like that is the trend, psoriasis is fetch now. The tardive dyskinesia is fetch now. These different, diseases and malformities and whatnot, like, this is ridiculous. Where do you think all this stuff comes from? It's got to come from somewhere. Our ancestors didn't have all of this wild ass diseases that we got today. Something is going on. Something in the milk ain't clean, as my godmother would say. Such a smart lady. I learned so much from her. It's craziness, but this is the state of affairs we're in. And people just wonder, oh, why I'm so sick. Girl. Boy. You sick because you eating crap. You're eating poison. You're eating what they want you to eat. You're consuming all the shit that they want you to consume. So that when you get sick, they already have a fucking drug waiting for you. This is the crazy part. It takes what? Anywhere between 7 to 10 years for a drug to get, tested properly and then approved. Right? So how is it irritable bowel syndrome pops up, everybody got it, and then now there's a drug for it. Everybody got it. And then all of a sudden, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, ask your doctor for, Cialis. I know Cialis is not for irritable bowel syndrome. I'm just using it as a fucking example. You're having erectile dysfunction. They've been working on us for a long ass time. How long has restless leg syndrome been in play? For about a few years now, 4 or 5 years. But erectile dysfunction, oh, it's been going on for a while. If you're having trouble conceiving, low sperm count. Remember the whole epidemic of the low sperm count people? Remember that back in the 80s and into the 90s? Low sperm count. Wear boxers. Wear boxers. Let your balls breathe. If you got low sperm count, let your balls hang. Don't let them bunch up in the underwears and the tighty whities. Remember? That'll help your sperm count. What the fuck going on? Everybody got low sperm count. And then all of these fertility banks pop up and whatnot. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm telling you. They know exactly what the fuck that we have because they got a medication for you when you get sick from it. So don't worry about it. I got you. We're gonna make you sick. And then we're gonna give you a medication to help you with this disease and this sickness. And then don't worry if something else should come. Oh, you got restless legs, and don't worry, we got a drug for that. We know that the food that we gave you restless leg syndrome. And now we have a drug for the restless leg syndrome. And then you're going to get an illness of some kind from that. But don't worry, we already have a solution for you when that occurs. Some 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years from now. Which is going to happen. That's the funny part. Anyway, I'm the fuck out.